What is going on, ladies? Hope you're having the best day of your entire life. I just wanted to go over how letting go let my client actually lose over 55 pounds in about 7 months. So we're gonna go over the five shifts that every mom over 40 needs to feel stronger, more confident, and actually get consistent. So you guys can find Ashley's page on Instagram. That's her thing. Ash is it. She doesn't mind. She'll rave all about it because she trusted the process. We're gonna go over what helped her and what will help you. She's got two boys that keep her on her toes. She's got a desk job, which makes getting in more steps more challenging. But all the things working against her, whether it be age and life circumstances, Ashley's gone through it all and been able to still stay consistent. So I'm really excited to show this all to you. And she said, Christian's legit. He's changed my life so much. Okay. So I want to just quickly break down why I do this because right now we're currently helping about 70 women inside of our Fit Mom Forever program. And I'm also helping the coaches on my team be able to be the best coaches they can be. And so it's something that I want to be vulnerable about before I jump into this for you, and it applies to you, is that it's so easy to give, and give to others when you are just a person that cares deeply. Like you just love to love. And the problem with that is you can lose yourself doing it. And so I'll come back to that shortly. But if you've given everything to your career, your kids, literally everyone else, this is for you. So here's my story. I started my fitness journey when I was 14. For unfortunate circumstances, I was in the middle of a domestic violence situation at home. My stepfather was pretty abusive towards my mom, so I trained to get stronger so that I could stand up for her. And I was really hard on myself through all of that because I never felt like I was enough. I was always belittled. So I was just the only way that I knew to get myself in the gym and start lifting weights and eating more food, even though I didn't have much of an appetite, was to really beat myself up. And it worked until it didn't. We all know how that works. I'm sure that you guys can resonate with that in your own story as you feel pretty desperate to try to see a result and you'd rather just beat yourself up than build yourself up to get there. And you can't stay consistent doing that. So here's the real foundation that I want to set before we jump into how Ashley did this, okay? And before we go over those five things, self-love always comes before the body transformation, okay? You can't hate yourself into a body that you love and care for, and that's not what we want for you here. I would rather focus on the self-love first, and the body transformation will follow afterwards. Okay, we got to let go of the all or nothing thinking. The whole it's summer. I'll just wait till things slow down, or the whole oh, kids just got back to school and there's tons of sports practices, so I'll probably just wait till the new year. Waiting for things to be perfect just so that you can do everything all at once and then eventually end up burning out inevitably. So we got to do one thing at a time and focus on taking care of yourself in the craziest of seasons. So that way, when things slow down, it's even easier rather than waiting for things to slow down and then things pick back up and then you just stop, right? We don't want that stop and start cycle. We got to get rid of that. So, and then last but not least is real success, in my opinion, means changing what you believe about food. So there's no such thing as good or bad food, which we'll go into that, and what you believe about yourself, whether or not you think you can do it, whether you think you just need to work harder, whether you just need to cut out carbs and fast and save more Pinterest recipes. Here is what you need. You need to understand Ashley's story, and then we're going to go over what you need to let go of. Five things. First thing is this is Ashley, my client. She's been with me for exactly a year now. But in the first 7 months, we were able to lose 55 pounds. And so she's a mom over 40. She's got a desk job in insurance. She has not taken any GLP-1s. Has not done any fad diets in this program. We increased her calories to start. And I'm going to get right to the meat and potatoes here. We did that because she was so used to eating so little. And when you're so used to eating so little, your energy goes down. You actually end up having less of an appetite because your body is in fight or flight, right? Think about if your body's stressed because you're not eating enough, it's going to slow you down. And so you actually end up losing a bit of an appetite. And so that's why in the morning you're not that hungry right now. But we needed to fix that. We needed to get our energy up. We needed to get our metabolism up. And we slowly increased to 1800 and then 2000 and boom. What happens when your energy goes up? Steps went from 2000 steps a day without even trying to just 10,000 steps a day naturally because her energy came up. So when she was done with work and sitting at a desk all day, at lunch, one, she wanted to go for a walk because she just felt like, I want to get up and do something because she was fueled. And then around dinner time, she wanted to do the same thing. So she just, boom, started increasing her steps. Her motivation came up. Her hormones were more balanced, at least more regulated. Okay, then she went to Vegas and Mexico. She didn't gain any of the weight back. She didn't track any food. She didn't cut out any drinks or alcohol or food. And we're going to get into that. And then here's just recently, this is why I wanted to make this video on Ashley. She just extended another year with me so that we could now focus on building more muscle after losing those 55 pounds so she can make more progress. Because this is more than fat loss. This is about being better. It's about improving your health, improving your mindset, challenging yourself to be better. And so Ashley just said, first pick was a month before I reached out to Christian on the left. And then I was upset with this photo and I was hiding behind my shopping bags and feeling so uncomfortable. Today's picture is 55 pounds down, but I have more work to do. Third pic shows no shortage of steps. So she went to, there was a picture of an escalator when she was in Vegas that she took, and she's just making a joke about constantly getting in steps because she loves it now. So here's the 5 things you need to let go of. Number one, under eating. As you know, I just mentioned that Ashley went from, eating 12, 13, 1400 calories a day, feeling tired, to slowly increasing to 1800 to 2000 to start. Okay, that's uncomfortable at first. But the magic is in the work that you avoid. If you're not willing to start fueling yourself, you're just going to be stuck. You're just going to keep coming back to the same place you started in. And like that might be a tough pill to swallow right now. Maybe you're like 1800, 2000, I couldn't eat that. This is not a lot of food. This is prep for 2 days for Ashley. A quesadilla with plain Greek yogurt and sour cream, sweet potato with ground beef and cottage cheese, some veggies at lunch with a ranch dip, and then a sandwich. And so that's her lunch that she brings to work. And at dinner, she usually has something similar to the lunch. Not a lot of food, but really delicious food. Nothing off limits. Okay, she got her energy came back. Steps went from 2 to 10,000, like I said, and then she got stronger and rebuilt the muscle that she lost from years of dieting. If you're just used to cutting out carbs and fasting and skipping breakfast and eating clean, meaning only having salads and cutting out carbs, you're going to be under eating massively. Your body's going to down regulate. You're not going to burn as many calories. You're going to feel tired. Your body's going to try to conserve energy so that it doesn't wither away. So we had to get Ashley's muscle back so she could get that energy back and get stronger. Okay, number two thing you need to let go of: carbs. You need to fear. You need to let go of the fear of carbs. Okay, we need to befriend carbs. Quesadillas, treats, Starbucks drinks. All of those were back on the table for Ashley. Do you think it was easier for her to stay consistent with that being the case? 100%. Because she didn't have to eat anything different than she absolutely loved when she felt like she was off track. But she had to let go of that fear. And when you're doing everything alone, even if you get this information, you watch this video, if you're not reminded, we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught, right? How many times we're just like kids? How many times do we need to tell kids what they need to do even though they know? Because we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. So this gave her the validation she needed to stay consistent, no matter if the scale was going up and down, as it will inevitably. And yeah, so she was able to stay consistent. Carbs fuel workouts. She learned that, so she was able to have more strength and build back more muscle. And then she no more low carb dinners. So that made it more enjoyable for her to keep going. So we let go of the fear of carbs. Didn't happen overnight. Third thing she had to let go of: the shame that comes with asking for help. Okay, we needed her to get honest with her check-ins, no matter how comfortable that was, meaning that every weekend when she just filled out a quick form, she met herself deeply. Most people don't want to acknowledge what they need to change, right? If you don't acknowledge what you need to change, you can't change. So if she was struggling with something, she needed to come forward and share that. Coaches are here not to just celebrate you when you're winning. I love that, don't get me wrong, but like the biggest transformations happen when things are really challenging. Like if you want to have growth in your life and feel happier, like you need to go through growth pains. And so look at this one. She said, "Help, has anyone had this? About 1 to 2 weeks ago, I woke up with a really sore and stiff neck. I didn't do anything to cause it." So she was just explaining that, she's been having a hard time. It's been affecting her sleep. It's been affecting her workouts. Most ladies would hold back on something like this, try to figure it out. A couple weeks would go by. They'd start to lose more and more motivation, feeling like they're not doing enough because they're good at beating themselves up. Or they would just stop everything altogether because, they're too overwhelmed. So, but she asked for help. And more than anything, a lot of ladies have and not just women, men too, we have self-fulfilling prophecies of failure to feel safe. But those keep you stuck. For example, if you have like a reoccurring injury that happens every time you start a fitness journey, and you tell yourself, hopefully this doesn't happen again. Hopefully that shoulder injury doesn't creep back in and then I have to stop. Hopefully things don't get busy and I get sick. And like I normally do every couple months, and then I fall off track. When you say these things to yourself and you're thinking about potential things that might make you fail, you wait for those to arise. And then when it does, you go, here it is. I knew that this was going to happen. You fall off track, and then the whole story of you feeling safe happens. The familiarity comes back. As soon as you get to a place that you're so close to starting to break through that ceiling that you've been through, whether it be stuck at 200 pounds and you can't break that, I know that's resonating with you. You start to self-sabotage back. And so we need to get rid of these self-fulfilling prophecies, and you need to start asking for help and saying, I notice that I'm falling back into old habits. I notice that, every time I get to this point with my weight, right? That's the point of coaching, is to get us out of that that mindset of self-sabotage and to get rid of these self-fulfilling prophecies and to get honest and to get uncomfortable. Got to get uncomfortable by asking for help. That's how you grow. You'd want your kids to ask for help if they were struggling with something, right? So then why do you keep things to yourself and not get any help? Because it sucks. Like it sucks to acknowledge the fact that we need help because we always want to be right. But to be right all the time doesn't mean that you're going to be happy, right? Sure, you were right that you got sick and this always happens. Well, now you're just stuck in familiarity because this is what happens every time that you get sick, you fall off. But because that's your truth and that's your story and you're not willing to change the story, you stay stuck in it. And then you're not any happier, even though you were right. Does that make sense? Okay, number 4, we got to let go of good versus bad food thinking. I'm sick and tired of this. Seriously, I go on Instagram or Facebook. So many people are like, I cannot believe that you said that we can have sweet potato fries. That's so unhealthy. Look at the fat in that. The reason why there's no food off limits, burgers, tacos, fries, all of it, is because the poison is in the dose, not the food itself. You can drink too much water and it's not good for you. You can have too many apples and be constipated. You can have too much of anything or too little of anything and it's not healthy for you. Okay, and so I think the biggest difference for Ashley here is look at this. She had Parmesan fries that her partner made in a burger, and she didn't eat like this every day. Why? Because this is probably a 1,200 calorie meal, but she knows how to fit it in. So no big deal. She doesn't feel like she's off plan. She doesn't feel like she's screwed up. She doesn't feel like it's a cheat meal. I hate that word. If you call it nothing, there's nothing ever good associated with the word cheat. So if you tell yourself, oh yeah, sometimes I have a cheat meal or I have a treat meal, that just right away, that's a red flag that you have no idea how to have flexibility with your nutrition. Because Ashley technically could eat this every day, but she knows that if she did, she probably wouldn't feel that hungry because she only has a couple hundred calories left over, right? But to last the whole day. So, anyways, same food that she ate before. She still has food like this all the time, but you think that certain foods are bad, but you just don't know how to eat it in the right amount. Same food, wrong portion still causes weight gain, even if it's healthy, right? That's the best way to put it. Same food, whether it be chicken, rice, and broccoli or this burger and fries. If you do not know how to eat it in the right amount, you're still going to gain weight, even if it's healthy. Take a example of a handful of nuts, 600 calories. That's the same amount of calories as these fries alone. That handful of nuts, because it's 100% fat, and fat has more calories per gram than any other macro. Number 5, you have to let go of obsessing over the scale. Look, Ashley and April said, I'm trying to break this plateau I seem to be in the last few weeks. LOL. Because she focuses on non-scale victories. Look, focus on process and daily wins, not just the number. She said Ashley is so successful because she's one of the few people that I've seen over these last 10 years that I've been doing this that it consistently celebrates non-scale victories publicly. Not that I expect that from everyone, but this is just so cool to see. Had to donate my pants that are now too big and had to take a link out of my Apple Watch strap. Thanks. Okay, got it. She said, I was finally able to buy some normal pants I can wear to work. I've always worn longer shirts and leggings to hide under. Almost 50 pounds down here is now. And before hiding under clothes and absolutely hated being in photos. So, celebrating non-scale victories. Progress isn't visible every week, and that's normal. And then here's the thing I wanted to share with you guys. Every program you've ever been a part of, the main focus in the marketing for whatever quick fix thing you did was all about weight loss, right? Weight Watchers, watching your weight, right? So just like with airlines, like planes, take this analogy. They're going to sell you the destination. They're going to show you the before and the after. Oh, cool. Here you are now. That sucks. Here's where you could be. Here's the destination. Look at this vacation. But they're never going to sell you the flight itself, just the destination. Just like how on a fitness journey, not a lot of people that do things the right way focus on mastering the middle, the turbulence. Nobody wants to hear about the turbulence on the plane ride, the middle. You just want to sleep through it, right? But that's not how you're ever going to get to your goals and stay there. You need to learn how to master the middle, the self sabotage, okay? The good versus bad food thing. You need to let go of that. You need to get rid of that. The shame in asking for help, the fear of carbs, the under eating. You need to get rid of all of those things that happen in the middle as a result of habits that have been there for so long, okay? Old habits die hard, as they say. And so in the middle, we got to get rid of those things that have been keeping you back, held back, that have been keeping you from, doing things sustainably. You've been far too strict for far too long, and that's why fat loss feels way more difficult. You have less muscle mass. You can't afford to eat as much because you've lost all that muscle. You have no energy because you're not eating enough consistently. You're not getting in enough protein. So yeah, we got to get rid of obsessing over the scale and start focusing on non-scale victories. And in order for you to stay consistent for a long enough period of time to see consistent results that are sustainable. Okay, here's the system. Real quick, 2 more minutes. You're gonna track your food for a period, not forever. Okay? Take this for example. Ashley said, definitely getting steps in at the Edmonton Mall. I tried Chick-fil-A for the first time. I still check the nutrition info beforehand. So we log our food. It takes 2 to 3 minutes at night. Not even. It takes 30 to 60 seconds a day to log what you're gonna eat. That's it. You literally go into my app and you go Chick-fil-A burger, chicken burger with the fruit cup. Boom. Tells you how many calories, how much protein. It'll tell you how many calories and protein you have left. There's no perfection. Literally just a calorie range and a protein range. So that way you can have freedom with food and enjoy all the food that you love. It just takes 30 to 60 seconds the night before to log. When you wake up, you have a plan. The reason why you're so successful in your career and your job is because you have a plan. You know what you're going to do. You have structure. You don't have the same when it comes to your nutrition. You just try to think, what should I eat and what shouldn't I eat? And that leaves you into decision fatigue with food because you have no plan. You overthink everything. But Ashley's been consistent and she's able to keep off the weight because she never had to give up anything, including Chick-fil-A. And here's the best part. Who's going to be able to keep off the weight? Okay, hold on before I get to the next. Who's going to be able to keep off the weight more easily? Somebody who's super restrictive and just eyeballs things, or somebody who knows how to eat in the right amount for them, keeping all the food that they love. No food off limits. Who's going to have an easier time keeping off the weight? Because I know Ashley's going to keep off the weight, and I'm going to show you all the other clients that have as well, because she never had to cut anything out. She had to take responsibility for how much she was eating, and it only took her 30 to 60 seconds that night to plan that in my app. Okay, real life proof. Let's go through that. So again, Ashley didn't have to track a single calorie on vacation. Why? Because her steps were through the roof when she was on vacation, like most people. She doubled down on protein. She had more awareness around food and how to eyeball meals accurately because she had 4 months of practice under her belt with logging food. Most people don't do it long enough and treat it like a science. Most people don't look at how much they're weighing because they don't want to do it. They feel like they have to do it, and it doesn't last because they don't know how to do it properly and they overthink it. And so they never really take mental note. But Ashley did this for 4 months, loved all the foods that she was eating. I showed her how to do it really easily in under 30 to 60 seconds each night. More days of the week than not, she had similar foods. But when she went on vacation, she was able to go, one, this is 1 or 2 weeks out of 52 weeks in a year here we're talking. It's not going to derail all my progress unless I binge eat, which she doesn't have to because she never has to cut anything out. Not even when she's at home. So she maintained her protein, she maintained her steps, and she just enjoyed an alcoholic beverage and a tall glass of water between drinks so that she didn't overdo it. And she came home having not gained any weight. So which woman do you want to be? Woman A, who is restrictive, cuts everything out, gets fast results, feels defeated in the end because she can't, eat that way forever and rebounds her weight back from doing keto and can't sustain it? Or do you want to be woman B, who's flexible, enjoys all the food she and her family loves, builds a real food awareness, gets sustainable results, and can keep it long term? Which woman do you want to be? Woman A or woman B? And I'll let you sit with that for a minute. Which woman do you want to be? And remember, think about that framing of that question. This is about becoming the woman that you want to be. This isn't about doing a diet. It's about becoming the type of woman who has real awareness with food, enjoys all the food she loves, does things sustainably, doesn't do any cardio, lifts weights 3 days a week like Ashley did from home. Okay, here's some proof. So, one of my clients, Michelle, messaged me 3, 4 days ago. She's kept off 30 pounds for a full year after leaving the program. And it's not even just about how much weight you lose, it's whether or not you kept it off, right? Who cares about losing 30 pounds if you don't know how to keep it off? And so success means gaining the skills that most people avoid. Having that awareness around food because you spend a few months actually taking 30 to 60 seconds to log your food and finally learn how to eat in the right amount for you. This is what Michelle said. You can pause this if you want and read that, just because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I hit the 30 pounds of loss and it has stayed off. I was afraid being free of counting that I would put it back on. I haven't had a real bikini in 2 decades. I have bikini confidence this summer. I feel amazing. I feel strong. Thanks, Christian. Keep pushing women to be strong and confident. Let's go. That's why I do what I do. And so I want to bring that up, okay? This is why this is what I always wanted for my mom. For her to be able to choose her health first so that we could see her thrive too, because she did so much for us. That's all I want. That's all your kids want for you is to thrive. It's the same thing that I want for you. I want you to feel powerful. I want you to feel strong. I want you to feel confident and knowledgeable. And I want you to feel trusting of yourself and your relationship with food. You might have a sweet tooth. You might not trust yourself around certain foods. I want to fix that. Food isn't the enemy. right? You are in control of food. Food isn't in control of you when you have more awareness of it. Okay, and we need to let go overall on what's held you back from consistency. That all or nothing mindset of I'll start when things get less busy. Got to get rid of that. And so, two more things here for social proof. Amanda, my client, just joined a few weeks ago, and Ashley messaged her back on the same day or commented back on the same day. Amanda said, "Today marks 10 pounds down since I started in April 16th. So it had been 6 weeks. She was down 10 pounds. It was almost my anniversary. It was also my anniversary. So I went out and celebrated to the tune of roughly a 1200 calorie meal, or going over her calories by 1200. Yep, a little overboard, but it was so delicious. This very rarely happens, and I'll be completely on point with my calorie goals and workouts for the rest of the week. Back at it tomorrow. Love that. See how she's getting rid of the all or nothing? She doesn't feel like she's beating herself up. She's just like, what's one day? And then Ashley was like, congrats, thankful every day for this program. It really is the best. And that is it. Ladies, if you want to be able to, let me move my head. If you want to be able to have this type of awareness and freedom and confidence and strength and energy, it's available to you. All of these moms have the same thing in their mind. Will this work? Can I do it? But you have to do things one step at a time. And everybody needs to start in a different spot. Not everybody's in the exact same spot in life. So I'm looking forward to chatting with you. If you haven't yet already set up a chat, message me the word start, and I'll reach out to you and we can set that up completely for free. Okay. We'll map out your entire game plan and get you clear on what you need to do. And worst case,